بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. It is Thursday, the 17th of November 2022. And in our broadcasts, Reflections on the Holy Quran, this is broadcast number 374. And these days we are discussing Al Baqarah, verse number 105. And this is the 12th broadcast in that series. These broadcasts are brought to you by LASER, Lahore Ahmadiyya School of Education in Religion, which is a department of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Islam, or Ahmadiyya Association for the Propagation of Islam, also known as the Lahore Ahmadiyya Movement. The Ahmadiyya Movement was founded by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib Rahmatullah Alayh. And his teaching was that although other people say that after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, another prophet can come, this is wrong, because the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet was Khatmun Nabiyyin, and the Holy Prophet said, Ana Khatmun Nabiyyin la Nabiya ba'di. I am Khatmun Nabiyyin, there is no prophet after. And his companions then asked him, what will happen if the Ummah needs guidance, because previously prophets used to come? And the Holy Prophet replied that God will raise reformers, Mujaddideen. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib Rahmatullah Alayh claimed that he was one of those Mujaddids. Many had come before him. And but he said his distinction was the fact that other ahadith speak of a Messiah and Mahdi who will come. And people think that these are two personalities, but this is not correct. These are titles bestowed upon a Mujaddid because of the work he will have to do. So people started calling Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib and Ahmadis kafir because of this. But Hazrat Sahib taught that the Holy Prophet Muhammad had said that if one reciter of the kalima says to another reciter of the kalima that you are a heretic, you're not a Muslim, then it is the person saying it who is the heretic. In the same way, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad taught that whereas other people preach that some prophetic revelation has been missed out from the Holy Quran, like Ayah Rajam, this is incorrect. The Holy Quran is complete. There's nothing missing from it. And similarly, some people believe that some verses of the Holy Quran have been abrogated. The commands in them have been cancelled. But he said, no, this is wrong. All verses of the Holy Quran were, are, and ever shall be effective. Nothing has been cancelled, deleted from these verses of the Holy Quran. And Hazrat Sahib taught that, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib taught that jihad was a duty of every single Muslim. But jihad, as defined by the Holy Prophet, who, when returning from battle, said that Muslims are returning from Jihad-e-Asghar to Jihad-e-Akbar, and Jihad-e-Akbar was Jihad bin Nafs, a jihad with our own souls, with our own selves. So, with that, let us turn to the verse of the Holy Quran that we're talking about. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ما يود الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب ولا المشركين أن ينزل عليكم من خير من ربكم والله يختص برحمته من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. I've used the Urdu translation of the Holy Quran to recite the Arabic because the words are written in bigger script. So the English translation is, neither those who disbelieve from among the people of the book nor the polytheists like that any good should be sent down to you from your Lord. And Allah chooses whom He pleases for His mercy. And Allah is the Lord of mighty grace. Today we are starting the last phrase of this verse of the Holy Quran, Wallahu Zul Fadlil Azim. And we look at Wallah, Zu, and Al Fadl, these words. Now, the word Wallah, we know that it's Wa and Allah, these two words, but I covered them relatively recently in broadcast number 369 on the 2nd of November. So I won't repeat that, and we'll go straight to the word. What's happened to my notes? Zu, which basically means, it's a noun, it means possessor. It just has two letters in it, and there's no root, and that is about it. The next word that we had is basically al-fadl, and its root is fa, da, lam. And four derivatives or four words made from this root are found in the Holy Quran, in a total of 104 times. The root occurs in the Holy Quran 104 times in the shape of four words. 84 times as the noun fadl, and 17 times as the verb faddala, and twice as the verbal noun tafdeel, and once as yatafaddala. Basically, it means to grant, to favor, to bestow, to prefer. It also means His grace, Allah's grace, bounty, and also excellence, quality. So the word is that we want to look at is, or we are going to look at is, al-fadl. Now, literally you could say that it means more than average. You know what an average is. You know, you have three numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. You add them and you divide by 4. That'll give you the average of that string of numbers. Some will be below that, some will be above that. Al-Fadlu stands for something that is possessing something more than an average person. Now, it can, of course, you can have two ways in which it applies. This abundance, it can be something good, bravery, knowledge, wisdom, and it can be meanness, vengefulness, temper, anger. Now, al-fadlu applies to an excess of good things, an abundance of good things, such as wisdom and knowledge and so on. And the word for negative things like anger and so on is al-fudul. And this word is found in Urdu as well. In Urdu we say fazul. Fazul baatein nahi karo. Ye fazul. Don't talk nonsense. So when we're talking about excellence or something, then it may be that one type of creation is superior to another type of creation. For example, we have animals, and human beings are part of the animal kingdom, and animals are superior to crops and vegetables and fruits, although they too are living things. But then this excellence can be over another kind of creation within one type, such as human beings are superior to other types of animals. We're all animals, but humans are a superior kind of animal. The Holy Quran says in chapter 17, verse 70, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. And we honored the children of Adam, Bani Adam, and made them excel, made them superior over many other things we created. And then, of course, there is excelling or being superior because of some quality. And it's a quality that you cannot attain. You know, God has put something in you. So, such that others can't attain it. But this type of superiority may be temporary. You have it and you may lose it. And the Holy Quran refers to this in chapter 16, verse 71. Wallahu faddala ba'adakum ala ba'adin fir rizq. And God has made excel in rizq, il fadl, in possessions. Some people more than others. But it could be temporary. People who have more may lose it because of whatever reason. And then in chapter 17, verse 12, God says, لِتَبْتَغُوا فَضْلًا مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. Go and seek the blessings, the grace of your Lord. What is that blessing? What is that grace? That is earning a living. It starts for earning a living. Go and put some effort. Go and put some effort into earning something. So this is one type of excellence, fadl, that you can attain with hard work and effort. And you see, in this verse, there is a lesson for us. So sometimes, we just sit around and we don't put much effort into things. And when things don't happen, we sort of complain and moan, he's got so and so, why haven't I got the same thing? We're the same age, we went to the same school, and so on. This is the reason. God says, go out. Look for God's fadl. So what it's saying is, if you just sit there and don't do anything, you are not going to find God's grace. Although, but some things, God does say in chapter 4, Verse 34, for example, Bima faddalallahu ba'dahum ala ba'd. Yes, God has made some people excel others. Some people are taller than others. Some people are more intelligent than others. I was reading about a young boy. I think he's in England, of Pakistani parents. And he's a child, about 9, 10 or something. And he sat for intelligent quotient tests. And he kept on completing them. And they ran out of tests to give him. His IQ is higher than Einstein. Now, it doesn't matter how much you struggle and try, you can't get that because that is a God-granted gift. That is granted by God. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi, he had what is called eidetic memory, and that is that he read something once and then he remembered it for the rest of his life. Guess what? And he found it hard to grasp this concept of students who before exams would be sitting down and committing things to memory and writing them and rewriting them and God knows what else. And he said, well, Allah, you only have to read something once and I remember it. Then the Holy Quran says in chapter 17, verse 55, وَلَقَدْ فَضَّلْنَا بَعْضَ النَّبِيِّينَ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. And we gave some prophets, or we made some prophets excel others. But that does not mean that you should be going around saying, my prophet is superior to yours. The Quran elsewhere says, we make no distinction between them. They're all God's prophets. God says, I've made them. I've made some more better or more or superior than others. But this is nothing to do with you. And that is the sad thing. We tend to take over God's duties from him. It's not for us to decide on. It happens with the companions of the Holy Prophet. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The people enter into long debates about which companion radiallahu anhum is superior to which other companions and so on. God has said they are pleased with him and he is pleased with them. Radiallahu. When God is pleased with a group of people, who are we to sit around and discuss who's superior to whom? They were all the Holy Prophet Sallam's companions. They all made sacrifices for Islam and the Holy Prophet in one way or another. And these are useless discussions. They simply waste time. In another place, chapter 4, verse 94, the Holy Quran says, فَضْلَ اللَّهُ الْمُجَاهِدِينَ عَلَى الْقَائِدِينَ. And those, the mujahideen, are superior than those who just sit. Now, people usually simply take this to mean that people who go out and fight. No. They are included in this, but this doesn't solely mean that. It means that those who struggle in all aspects of their lives, they are superior to those who just sit around not doing anything. So you have to struggle, struggle, struggle. There'll be setbacks. You may not do as well in an exam as you expected. You may not get the job that you apply for. But you have to keep struggling in every aspect of your life to improve yourself, to make yourself better, to get on. And God says that people who struggle, Allah will bless them. They are superior to those who just sit around and twiddle their thumbs. And it doesn't mean that if you just sit there and pray a lot, then miraculously all your problems will be solved. Prayer is a part of the struggle. But when Medina was attacked, the Holy Prophet didn't just sit and pray. He got up on a horse, put his armor on, and went out into the field and defended Medina. He struggled. Struggle comes first, blessing. A result of that struggle comes later. Chapter 4, verse 32 refers to this. Wasalullaha min fadli. And keep asking for God's fadl, for His grace, for His blessing, for Him to grant you that excellence. Keep asking. So this prayer is a part of the struggle. As the promised Messiah, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, pointed out, that prayer is not the only thing, it's not the whole, but it's a part of everything you do. Zalika fadlullahi, chapter 5, verse 54, and it's God's grace that He grants. And Zul Fadli Lazim, chapter 3, verse 74, and He is the possessor of all grace. But we must remember something. Qul bi fadlillah, chapter 10, verse 58. Qul, tell them, announce, make known that this is God's blessing, God's grace. And what is that? The Holy Quran. And had it not been for God's grace, in chapter 4, verse 83, it says, وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ. And had it not been for God's grace, His mercy, His kindness, He wouldn't have granted you this book. But what we forget is that we just treat this book as something that we read or recite without understanding it, and then we wrap it in silk and put it on the top shelf. How this book is a book of guidance. Before you can get guidance, you need to understand it. And if you don't understand it, how are you going to get guidance? And this is what we do. We make no effort at all at understanding the message of the Holy Quran. The best we do is read someone's translation. Yeah, that's one step forward. But it's still someone else's understanding of the Holy Quran. It may or may not be correct. You try and understand it yourself. You may or may not be correct. Consult others, see what they've said. But make an effort. Don't just recite it parrot fashion and then wrap it in silk and put it on the top shelf. You will find that you get guidance, you get new messages, and it will show you the way to living a successful life. So we've come to the end of our time, so I take my leave of you with the prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may Allah keep the whole of humanity safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.